What's up, guys? My name is Ian Yanez from SouthWestern Insurance. Today we have a very special guest, Anthony Searcy from Maximum Independent Brokerage.
You got that right.
Was practicing that a little bit before. Make sure it rolled off the tongue correctly. So Maximum is actually not an MGA. You guys are a wholesaler.
Correct. We're a wholesaler that we deal in excess and surplus lines. MGA or MGU, either one of those falls under our heading, and it's jobs that we do on behalf of carriers. Okay. So we act as a managing general agent or a managing general underwriter, but we are wholesalers.
So what would be an advantage of being operating as a wholesaler as part of an MGA? Like from an agent standpoint, why would I go to you instead of a regular MGA? Is there anything that you could do special?
We might have access to a few more markets than in regular MGA would have. They may have an assignment from a carrier just to work with one or two markets where we work with a whole myriad of them. That would be one of the big, I would say that'd probably be one of the biggest advantages to coming to us, because it's like you hire a secret shopper to go out, get the best price for you across all markets, and Frankenstein it together and then give you back the best package for your client.
And I heard you mention that you can also do a little bit of your own underwriting. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So some carriers give you the pen, right?
Correct.
That's like the term that they use. So
correct.
For those of you that don't know, when a carrier gives you the pen, they give you underwriting authority where you can look at an account and come up with a price right away, right?
That is
how
correct.
That works? Okay.
In most cases, they're giving us access to a portal or their underwriting guidelines where we can log in as a user. So it's like we're a de facto underwriter. We can go into their system, rate the account up, and put in some variations. We can, in the trucking space, I do a lot in transportation. We can increase the amount or lessen the amount of cargo coverage, change the commodities. We can do a lot of different things to give you the best price, especially for the trucker that's just getting started that doesn't quite know what they want to do. They don't know if they want to haul flatbed or reefer or have a dumping operation or maybe do drop and hook with Amazon or Walmart. We can kind of show them that across all platforms and give them the best price to make them make the best decision as a business person.
That's awesome. I know that we at Southwestern love working with Maximum. You guys always turn around quotes right away.
Sure.
You guys got really good competitive pricing, especially on the cargo and physical damage. And you have a lot of carriers that you represent as well for the liability. Can you tell us a couple about those carriers?
Correct. We work a lot with Canal, Berkeley Small Business, Crum and Forster, Berkeley Prime. We work with Prime. We also work with NICO on the fleet side. And we have a whole bunch on the motor truck cargo, physical damage, GL, and excess.
Yeah. So another thing that we use a lot, Maximum, is the GL product, right? With USLI, which
Correct.
is an A-rated paper. A lot of people are looking for A-rated paper. And that's an amazing product for the GL. I know everybody in our offices use it. Where would you say that you guys are the most competitive right now? Where you get the best rates, where you have the most success? What states do you say that come to mind?
In what particular coverage?
Transportation and liability.
In liability, okay. Yeah, liability leads everything. I would probably say the states that we've been the most competitive in lately has been South Carolina, Georgia, Oklahoma, Missouri, and believe it or not, Illinois.
Illinois, okay.
We also have some really good markets out in California if the risk is staying within either that state, so they're running intrastate, or they're staying within a 5-state radius. We've got some really good markets on the West Coast too. And some of the pricing that we're getting out there is just unbelievable. So if you have any agents or any clients that are seeing business on the West Coast, please think of us.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody the value proposition of Maximum. We are one of the few wholly owned independent wholesalers that are still out there. Everybody else has kind of fallen into what I like to call the alphabet soup crowd.
Yeah.
That's kind of what their name sounds like, alphabet soup. We are owned by one gentleman that's based in Chicago, Illinois, a fantastic guy named Joe Messina that had a vision 25 plus years ago of doing it the right way. And that's all we've done is done it the right way for 25 years. We have just over 100 to 110 employees. We've got 5 offices across the country. And every day I can honestly say everybody that wakes up with this company gets up and loves doing it the right way.
For sure. And I've met Joe a couple of times, and Joe's one of the few people in this world that's actually passionate about insurance, right?
Correct.
It's hard to be passionate about insurance, right?
I still think Joe's our largest broker.
Yeah.
He gets up and he beats us all to work every day.
Yeah.
One of the greatest things that he does is every Friday, for as long as I can remember, and I've been here a little over 8 years, he sends out a little memo it calls Fired Up Friday. And that thing comes out at 5 o'clock in the morning. So you wake up and it's already there. And I asked him once, I go, Joe, are you writing this the night before and then pre-planning? He's like, no. I get up and I kind of put it all together and I've got little notes, but I send it out that morning. Mind blowing. Then he goes to the gym.
Yeah. So I used to work for a company called QEO, and their now CEO, Scott DeWolf, he would send out a morning inspiration like at 6 a.m., 6:02. And I'm like, there's no way this guy's waking up at this time and sending us these quotes. And I asked him myself the same thing. I'm like, Scott, do you pay for like a subscription, like some sort of automatic email that sends out every day? He was like, nah, I wake up in the morning and I write it. Yeah. And I find these quotes and I, associate it with our business. I'm like, dude, that's insane.
Correct. A lot of us, like our biggest claim to fame is we can beat Joe up and maybe send him a message before he sends us one in the morning. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. The guy is just a machine, but he's a fantastic owner and a fantastic boss.
Well, what I've noticed is a lot of the people on that higher end of running these sort of MGAs or wholesale operations is that they work at a different pace and they work at a different gear, right? Their mentality, they see the world different, right?
Sure.
And I've noticed that that's common in a few places, not all of them. So, I mean, you guys having someone like Joe at the helm is definitely beneficial. He's the one that makes the shots. He understands the business.
Correct.
And you guys don't only do transportation. You guys do other lines as well.
Oh, yeah. We do property, casualty. We have a contract binding unit. We do professional lines, and we do some high-value personal line stuff, too. So if you ever wanted to see what it is that we do, every month we put out what we call our recent successes. And usually on our website, you'll see the last 3 months of those successes. If you just go to our website, which is www.maxib.com, and I say it like this, www.max, I as in igloo, B as in boy.com, and go to news and info. Look at our recent successes. You can kind of see what we've been writing, where we've been writing it, the premiums for it. If you ever have a question, send us an email or call us. All the brokers are listed on the site, so you can find the person that does the line of business that you're inquiring about.
So I will say this from working with you guys for so long. Customer service is not only important on the agency side, but I believe on the wholesale MGA side as well, because as an agent, sometimes you struggle to get people on the phone.
Yep.
And I will say that maximum when you call somebody there, they answer, especially you. You know, I mean, we're friends, so we have that connection. But I know that everyone else in my office, if they ever have a question, they call the underwriter and the underwriter answers or respond. Or let's say they can't answer, right? They send them an email, they get back to them right away.
Yeah.
So communication with Maximum has always been, I think, one of your, best traits, right, that you guys have.
Sure.
And I know that we've always appreciated that. And it's when you have a question like, hey, Anthony, I have, this intermodal account in South Florida. What do you think about it? Oh, well, you've told me before, well, Canal doesn't do intermodal in South Florida, or we just opened up in this area.
Correct.
And then, we can kind of work around it, right? Because I don't know everything off the top of my head. But again, the reason, the most important part about what you guys bring to the table is your communication, right?
Sure.
And I think that allows us to place more business with you, and it makes us more competitive, right?
It does.
So we're limited to the markets that we have and the people that we do business with.
Sure.
So,
Do you mind if I tell you why we're like that?
No, tell me.
I started off my career, and it was a really weird career path. I started off as a registered nurse. I took care of kids that had cancer, which is one of the reasons I started shaving my head. I was a pediatric bone marrow transplant nurse. And after I lost a young patient, I kind of went into pharmaceutical sales. That industry changed around 2007, 2008. My dad, who's been a State Farm agent for a very long time in Pensacola, never worked for him. He said, I think you would be really good at insurance. And I said, why? Because you approach everything that you do with the heart of a teacher. You're always educating, and that's really good, is to give people an understanding of what it is they're trying to buy, even if they don't initially buy it from you. So whenever I got into this industry, I was a State Farm guy for a while, and then I found wholesale. When I got into this industry, I always wanted to approach it with the heart of a teacher. The one thing that I always wanted to do, having been the agent who called in to talk to an underwriter, but not getting anybody, it's almost like you can't move past that point.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to be, you call me, put it on my plate, you can move on to your next task knowing it's going to be taken care of, or the answer will come. So our minimum standard in our office, and there are 7 of us in the office now, is I'm going to answer your call because it's important to you. Then I'll take that burden on. You can move on. I'll get back with you via voicemail, email, or text. And I always tell everybody, is that fair? Yeah. And they always say the same thing. You're not like the other people that I talk to. It's as if we're a burden to them. But I knew what it was like to write an account that was only $500 because $500 accounts turn into $500,000 accounts.
Very true. And you said it. I mean, there's sometimes where I've asked you questions that we may not place the business with Maximum, but you guided me in the right direction. Right?
Correct.
So, and that's like a huge resource, and I always have you on the back of my mind. Even my dad has been doing this for 40 years. I'll ask him a question. He goes, why don't you call Anthony, see if they can do it, right? Which is really cool. One of the places that I insured is Rock Esports, right?
Correct.
You guys are the brokerage on it.
That is correct.
And I remember when my friend approached me like, hey, we need insurance. I was like, man, I do truck insurance. I don't really do general liability or any of the type of insurances that we have on this actual building and all the, the computers and stuff like that. And I remember I was like, you know what? I'm going to call Anthony. Maybe he knows. And he's like, yeah, send it to me.
Send it to me.
Yeah.
I'll be your single point of contact.
Yeah. So that's, we really love that about you. And we really love that about working with Maximum. It's like really a top-notch facility. There's not that many people in I think, and again, we do work with a lot of wholesalers, a lot of MGAs. There are very few people in your category, I feel like, especially when it comes to communication, which is, I think, a huge contributor to your success.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we have someone in our office called Chandler Searcy.
Correct.
And Chandler Searcy is your brother.
He is my younger brother. And
we have Chandler Searcy here today. And I thought it was like really cool. I mean, you recommended your brother to us, right?
Correct.
And I think it would be cool to bring him on. And you talk to your brother. He's going to ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
And,
he has a great story, and it is not insurance related.
All right, let's go. So we're going to bring on Chandler.
Well, hello, Chandler. Nice
How
to
are
meet
you doing? Nice to meet you, too. I see you have the last name Searcy, yes?
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Would you happen to be related to an Arthur Searcy?
I would happen to be related to
Really?
Arthur Searcy, yeah.
Me, too.
Yeah.
Great to see you, buddy.
Great to see you, too.
All right. So let's get into it.
All right.
First and foremost, thanks to Ian, Orlando, everybody at Southwestern putting this podcast on, letting us get together and be in front of the camera and interview each other.
Yeah.
Awesome, right?
It's a first.
Yeah, it is. So some of the questions, let's get into it. From an agent's point of view, whenever you're getting a submission, what are some things you would like to see on a submission to make it easy to quote, to give you the path of least resistance?
I deal in transportation, but I'll speak generally.
Yeah, let's deal with commercial.
Just
Trucking,
commercial.
yeah.
Commercial trucking.
You get a submission from an agent. What are your pet peeves? What do you need to see?
Okay. Every time you send it in, I need to know the DOT number, the name, years in business. Mm-hmm. I need the loss runs.
Okay.
Because if you're asking me to go to war for you,
Yeah.
please don't send me to war with just a gun and no bullets.
There you go.
We both know it's not going to work out real well for me.
Yeah.
So if you give me all of the info, which is going to be the MVR, so I can see what how am I going to rate a driver if I don't know what their driving history is like? Okay. If they've been in business for a while, how am I going to rate them if I don't know what their loss history looks like? And if you send me the loss history, it needs to really be within 45 or 60 days of the expiration. Okay. Don't send me things that are a year or two old. That's information I can't use.
You just beat me to the punch because I was going to say, as far as loss runs in VR, what's the time frame on there? But you just answered that question.
Yeah, 45 to 60 days. A complete application that lists make, model, VIN.
Yeah.
If you want me to insure it, I don't need to know what it costs new. What's the actual cash value of that vehicle today? And for every truck, unless they're doing drop and hook, meaning they're picking up a trailer that's already loaded from Walmart or Target or Amazon, it has to have a trailer because you can't carry things just in the air. Yeah. They've got to be carried in something. You'd be amazed the number of times I get a truck, no trailer. I get the driver. I don't know his date of birth. I don't know his years of experience. I don't know when he was hired. Again, I have a gun with no bullets.
There you go. I understand. I definitely understand. Ian was alluding to earlier, your really competitive markets. One of the successes that I've had with you guys is with Nirvana in Georgia.
Yeah.
Really, really, really good rates for the AL. Talk to me about Nirvana. Are they relatively new? They've been around. What's their deal?
Nirvana has been around for a while. They were agent direct for a long time, and now they've started opening it up to some wholesalers. Mm-hmm. I actually had a really good conversation with their BDM, their business development manager, at a meeting last year. His name's Daniel Hausman, fantastic guy. And I said, if you would give me an opportunity to underwrite your product, I'm going to do it differently than everybody else. One of the things that I like to say is, I don't want to be in business with everybody, and not everybody deserves to be in business with me.
Agreed.
So I only want to try to write profitable business that'll stay on the books. Nirvana's value proposition is that they take ELD data, electronic logging device data, and they use it for the last year, but at least 90 days prior to the start of the policy to see where you've been driving, how you've been driving, how fast you've been going, hard braking, lanes of travel. And with that ELD data, that can help them with their algorithm to rate policies a little bit differently than everybody else does.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You're talking about the ELD data. Let's say a company doesn't have an ELD prior to me sending you a submission. Will they be eligible for Nirvana?
They could be if they have some other type of tracking system, either a camera system or some other type of system that track their movements that we could possibly send over as a what I call a tier 2 or a tier 3 upload to their system.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, Nirvana, their pricing's great. Different than most insurance companies. They only require 15% down payment, which is awesome, on the truckers. So any truckers that are tuning in, I'm telling you now, ELD it so you can get on that Nirvana. The pricing is awesome.
Yeah. And if you can get an ELD, this is my plead. If you can get an ELD that has a front-facing camera, think of it from an underwriting standpoint and a claims handling standpoint. I feel bad for truckers because so many people want to blame them for things that the actual driver did. But if you can show a video that you were driving normal speed, but someone cut in front of you and you just could not make that 80,000-pound vehicle stop in time, that wasn't your fault. But if you can help me fight the fight, we can get a lot of these things thrown out, and this crazy litigious nature of let's just sue the trucker for everything sort of starts going away.
Got you. I learned something yesterday that I didn't know. Canal test drive. Can you tell me what that is? Explain that a little bit, and then I'll get into my part.
Sure. Canal wanted the ability of being able to offer a startup trucker within their first 2 years of business the same benefits of a big trucker. So in the big trucking world, you can rate on what's called composite rate. So I can rate it on the amount of revenue that you do, or I can rate it on the miles that you drive with this thing called an IFTA. It kind of shows me where you're getting your gas. So it shows me where you are.
International Fuel Tax Agreement.
Yep. So instead of that, they're going to literally gift them a Samsara ELD device that they're going to install in their unit. And Canal's value proposition is we'll allow you to pay as you go, like the big boys. If you are driving, we're going to pay you're going to pay by mile. And because you're going to pay by mile, if like most people, you take a vacation and your truck sits still for a week or two, we're not going to charge you any premium on your auto liability. Now, you still have to pay for the physical damage because something could happen while it's sitting still.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pay for the GL because something could happen, but not for the AL, which is the largest part of your premium. That's how it works.
The thing that I found out that I thought was really cool is when you have a new venture and they bind with Canal Test Drive, I thought it was just for freshmen and sophomore, but come to find out, I got a guy going into year 3 and he's still eligible because that's who he initially bound with. I think that's the coolest thing ever. He loves it.
Correct.
Because the upfront down payment that he put in, he gets to just roll it over into the next year. And all he's got to do is start with his monthly again. I think that's the most awesome thing ever.
Correct.
Yeah.
And Canal launched another program within the last year called Miles by Canal. So let's say you're in your 3rd year, you weren't with them for your first 2, you're not eligible for test drive, but you have an ELD. They can upload the data from your ELD and actually charge you the same way for the miles that you drive.
So when that truck's not working, it's just sitting, no AL. They don't have to pay for it. That is awesome.
Yeah, and they give you an allotted number of miles per year that's broken up by month.
Yeah.
So if you are under those miles for the month, you pay less. If you're over, you pay more. But you know exactly what the price per mile is when you start.
Okay. Let's get into truckers. So any truckers that are coming in, what are some things that you feel like truckers need to avoid in order to get good rates?
Oh, my goodness. The greatest would be speeding. Mm-hmm. You're thinking, oh, they just have a couple of tickets. But tickets lead to accidents. And if you see a history of someone speeding, they're going to get into an accident. And that vehicle is so big, it's not just going to hit one thing. Yeah. It's just going to keep hitting things until it stops. Yeah.
Anything else?
Never touch that cell phone when you're behind the wheel.
Automatic, right? They don't
that's
get
a major.
How big a deal that is. That's automatic Prime Nyco right there.
Exactly.
Yeah, and for you guys that don't know out there, Prime and Nyco, they are called a market of last resort. So anything that's last resort, you're going to pay for it, buddy.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one of the things an underwriter said to me that really hit home. We rated up an account and it was very expensive. And I said, this is very expensive. Her reply to me was, compared to what? Well, you're right. And she goes, I'll tell you my philosophy. My job is to make it available, not affordable. If they did really bad things in their past, I'll make it available until their driving record improves, until some of the claims fall off. But I'm not here to make it affordable because they don't warrant affordability.
That's it. And Prime and Nyco, they accept just about anybody, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Drunk drivers, all that, but you're going to pay for it, correct?
Correct. They'll take somebody that has their CDL for a day.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. They do a driver surcharge, and I can show you what the schedule is, but there's going to be a one-time surcharge for adding that driver on, and he could be the main driver, and then the price is what the price is. But we're going to charge you because you're an inexperienced driver.
Okay. Ian also mentioned earlier how you got into this business. Can you touch on that a little bit more? Talk about some of your early failures and successes?
Sure. When I first got into this business, I was a personal lines agent playing golf with a friend, and he started talking about an account he was trying to bind. It wasn't a very big account, but the premium sounded astronomical compared to what I had written on my personalized business. So when he got done, I started asking him what it is that you do. How do you do it?
Real quick before you go, explain what personal lines are for the people who are new. They may not understand.
Oh, sure. Personal lines, those are the things that you use in your personal life. House insurance, apartment insurance, condo, a car, RV, boat, things that you can really get online, quote yourself, or find a local agent. In the world that we deal in now, we're in what's known as excess and surplus lines. You can't get to these without coming to someone like me or coming through someone like Chandler. So that's what it is. So when I found this world of wholesale and excess and surplus lines, I wanted to get into this world. When I first got into the world, the person that I was working with and the person that was trying to train me didn't do a really good job. It just was, here's some Excel sheets and here's a submission, go through and figure it out. That's not really a good way of learning. So I promised myself whenever I started, not only would I make little manuals for people to learn, I would answer any question that you had over and over and over until you got it. Because everyone learns at a different pace.
That's it.
And again, like I told Ian, I kind of came into this world with the heart of a teacher. There's nothing more cathartic in making you really very introspective than trying to explain cancer to a child, trying to explain diabetes to their parents, trying to explain everything you're going to have to do when you get home so you learn not to use big words. You explain everything on a third grade level, because even in insurance, my goal has always been for you to be able to retell my story. When we stop talking and someone goes, what did he say? You can repeat almost all of it.
That's it. Make you really be able to own the information to be able to teach what you've been taught.
Correct. It's empowering, especially for a consumer.
I get it. So back to it. What were some of the early failures that you had when you first got in?
When I very first got into the industry on the professional side, I was desperate. I wanted to work with anyone. So I marketed it any way I can. I sent emails, I cold called, and I found out there were a lot of people when I first started that was just trying to clear the junk off of their desk. So they would send me these things, and I spent more time trying to put a square peg in a round hole than I should have.
Flinging poo at the wall to see what sticks.
That's all I did over and over and over. But now you get to a point where you realize who the players are that you don't really want to work with. You don't want to be in business with everybody. You also start to learn your markets and learn the capabilities. And the one thing that I say to agents, I'm not going to say that I can do everything that you're going to send, because that's just not feasible. But when we learn our dance and we figure out what it is that we can do, let's keep doing that. You keep marketing for it, I'll keep writing it. Let's just do that over and over and over. And I'm telling you, the small accounts will become big accounts. Everybody wants to write the 100-unit account, but they're one contract away from being a 20-unit account. But that guy that has one truck, that has a second, then gets a third, he starts to get bigger. I love those guys. That's like me when I first started.
When they grow over time. The guy that you just helped out, you felt like you were doing the right thing by him, and before you know it, that one truck account just explodes. And now this guy's really got,
Correct. And from an agency standpoint, I love getting in with an agency group, because I, on the wholesale side, become their guy. It's kind of like you helping out a trucker. You become their guy. You get that phone call where you stop doing outbound calls. Now people are calling you because you did such a service for that guy. You're just taking orders at that point.
I got you. That's awesome. What are some of the biggest successes that you've had in this business?
It's not going to be what you think.
All right, let's go.
Right? My capital in this business would be legacy.
Yeah.
Right? My capital in this business is helping other people that did not think that this business was for them or that they would be successful. I've gotten to a point in my life where I can get anything that I want. That's not really an issue anymore. I don't worry about that. Neither does anybody in my family.
Yeah.
But now my goal is to help everyone that's around me, especially in a professional capacity, get the things that they want. So I'll tell you one of the things that I do, and I just came up with it. Every year, at the beginning of the year, I hand a sheet of paper to everyone that works on my team, and I was like, I want you to write down at least 5 goals, and I want them to be stretched. But they can't be, I want to make more money. They can't be, I want to go to Disney World.
Got to be specific.
Got to be specific, yeah. And they seal them up, write their name on them, and put them in an envelope, and I keep them in a drawer. At the end of the year, I hand that back in a team meeting, and they don't have to read them out, but let's see how you did. It is amazing. They will hit almost every one of their goals.
That's awesome.
And I'm trying to get to the point that it's not about money anymore.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to make money. But once you have it, how do you keep it? How do you get it to work for you?
Yeah.
So I do a lot of financial counseling with people that are on my team. We talk about a lot of stuff that doesn't have to do with work.
That's really
I get
cool.
told a lot, you're the weirdest boss I've ever had. I take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
It's not about me anymore. It's about you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's where I would say my biggest successes are. That, and one of my greatest successes is bringing you into the business.
And how did that happen? That's funny because, he's talking about being a teaching people earlier. I literally was a teacher for almost 20 years, taught biology, forensics, bunch of stuff in the public school system in Broward County. So how did that happen?
I'll give you the Reader's Digest abridged version.
Okay.
You and your family came to my house for Christmas.
Yep.
And, we're doing all kinds of fun stuff. And then one Saturday, like we always do, we wake up before the whole family. And we're sitting on my back patio drinking coffee. And I remember just saying, are you sure you want to still be a teacher? And your knee jerk was, yeah, I've been a teacher for all, comfortable. I want to be a teacher. Second cup of coffee. We're still on the patio. Are you sure you still want to be a teacher? And you looked at me like, why? Because I think I could bring you into this industry. We talked about salary. We talked about goals. And I knew looking at you, you weren't going to get there doing the same thing that you did.
Yeah.
It was that monotony of doing the same thing. It's that craziness of thinking something's going to change next year. And I thought, I could help you really control your destiny. I think you could do a really good job, and you're going to get to the point where you're not really worried about money anymore, right? And I know just the group for you. So I decided to make an introduction to the guys at SouthWestern.
There you go.
They met you. They liked you. And it was, okay, he's part of our family now.
Dinner with Orlando, golf with Ian, and rest is history.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
And you've been here how long now?
A little over 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you tell me, in all honesty,
Yeah.
how does this differ from what you did before in the amount of your time that you have, just your satisfaction out of life?
Yeah. So teaching did have its benefits, but after COVID, it was, it was tough. Like the kids didn't want to learn anymore. It was tough sledding for everybody. It's let me reclaim my life. Like it's giving me freedom, a lot of freedom, and I still get to feel like I'm helping people.
Okay.
I'm getting to help people because these truckers, they need this insurance. It's I had a guy that I had to help avoid a cancellation yesterday because of an unexpected unit, and I helped this guy, and he's just so thankful. Like,
Sure.
so thankful for. So I still get that piece. The money's better, and you get to meet a lot more people. You're not stuck with the same routine. Every day is different, and that's one of the things that I love. I love the variation. I love the deviation from the norm. It's an awesome career choice, and I really appreciate you doing that
very
for
welcome,
me.
man.
Yeah.
What is your biggest success? You asked me what mine was. What's yours?
It's not going to be like business related once again. I think it's reclaiming my time.
Yeah.
Because I literally was about to die being a teacher and unhappy.
Correct.
Because I felt like it's the right thing. But now I want to go play golf on a Wednesday at 1 o'clock. I can do that.
Correct.
And it's.
Because your cell phone is your office.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you need is your cell phone, your laptop, and the Wi-Fi hotspot, and you're good no matter where you are.
Sure.
And that's the thing. That's one of the great things that I appreciate about this business. I just love it. And I thank Ian, I thank Orlando for giving me this opportunity because,
Sure.
been a different route. I could still be in the classroom or be on summer break right now going crazy.
Yeah. Hopefully Orlando will get on this podcast soon and everybody can really see who we're talking about because you get to see them sort of the best of him and Ian. You've got to see him because he's a very special character. I can still remember I was at a conference. He walked up our trade show booth, and I met him. He had a couple of his coworkers in tow, and it was like, this guy is he's totally different than anything that you would ever see as successful. But he does a really good job at just being him. And the one thing that I've always said about me, I hope you like me. Because the me that you meet, the way that I talk, my mannerisms, this is kind of me at 6 o'clock in the morning. This is me at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm the same guy. Orlando is that same guy.
He is that guy. He is unapologetically him. He's going to be him. Either he's for you or he's not for you. And he's good either way. Because he's great at the business. He knows his stuff. He's on top of it.
Correct.
He's just a all-around great human being. You know, it doesn't seem like it from the gruff exterior, but man, he's awesome.
And the thing I would love to say, Orlando can be appropriately inappropriate.
Oh my goodness. We're not going to go into that.
All right. He's a different guy, but he's a very, very good guy.
Awesome.
Love him like a brother.
Yeah.
And literally, if he called me right now and said, I need you to come get me out of jail, I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Right there.
Yeah, he's that guy. Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before we shut this thing down? I think this has been a great conversation, by the way. And how many brothers get to do a podcast together besides the Kelseys, you know?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I would say the great thing about being in this business is I've got you in the business with me now.
Yeah.
My wife works as an independent agent for a company, so I get to write business for her, so I'm getting it on both sides. And now my second youngest daughter, Nicole, is in the business.
That's awesome.
She actually works on my team. She was working at the Mayo Clinic for a long time in the endoscopy department and said that she really didn't think medicine was her way forward. She thought she was going to be a PA.
Yeah.
And she said medicine wasn't her way forward. And I said, well, we're hiring. She goes, great. I go, but I got to tell you something. Whenever I started at Maximum, there was no one here named Circe.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make an introduction, but I need you to do the work on your own to get this job.
Awesome.
And she said, I understand. And she interviewed. Now she's on the team. I get to work with one of my best friends in the world, Jim Crawford. Jim's son, Ryan, now works on our team. And we have a couple more. We've got a Tamaya Belton. I've got a Skylar Perry. And I've got a Kashayla Woods. We are a hodgepodge of folks, but the amalgamation of us put together is just a cohesive team. We're good at what we do.
Perfect imperfections.
There you go.
There you go.
That's it.
Anthony, been great, bro.
All right, man.
Love you, man.
Love you too.
It's very cool.
Thank you.